Good morning and thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup with me, Niraj Shah. Well, it is effectively a red wave. It was not even close, and one wonders what this means for pollsters across the world. We've seen this happen in India, seen this happening in the US as well. But the red wave has led to some massive reactions in risk assets. So Dow soared about 1,500 points to a record high in the best day since 2022 after the Trump election victory, and the S&P 500 in fact saw the best post-election day verdict in its history. That's the kind of thumbs up that the markets have given to the Republican victory. 10-year Treasury yield has posted a huge leap, 4.43 now. All those bets about a rate cut trajectory are off the blocks currently. Bitcoin hit a record $76,000 as Trump's victory heralds in wider crypto adoption. I would suspect some low regulation as well in the US at the very least, but that's the mother market and that's driving what's happening to cryptos as well. Some resounding reactions, and this tells you all, right? The green on the screen. Yes, the futures are flattish, but I would suspect that Asia is taking some leaf from this. Maybe not in the same vein, but should be mildly positive. Actually, just very mild reactions, no major reactions. JPY, of course, might be getting impacted. Our markets, after having a good rally, showing a bit of a downtick. I'm surprised though with this. I would suspect that there might be some change to this on open or during the day, because my belief would be that a rising tide would largely carry all boats along with it. So the risk on wave is on and the rising tide will carry everything along with. So yes, we've had a rally from 24,000 to 24,500, but be that as it may, I believe that there is still some steam left here now that the uptick has started. There were long positions getting built yesterday, mind you, so that's to be kept in mind. Yes, banks were lackluster, but today HDFC Bank will spur the Bank Nifty for sure. And maybe the global facing sectors will likely grab attention right now as opposed to domestic facing sectors. But like I said, HDFC Bank will spur. And I think that's the other reason why I believe that there's a bit of a cushion. We know that IT will not do badly even if it doesn't do well after the 4% uptick yesterday. Now we have HDFC Bank and the MSCI region, and I'll come to that in a moment, also aiding. I don't know, I somehow don't feel that we'll have a bad day in trade today on the red, and the red side is what I mean. I may be wrong though. Team Lee's guidance shows that the staffing sector is unlikely to have a strong Q3. The reason I bring this up is because most people were speaking about how if IT is doing well, staffing will do well, etc. The guidance yesterday on the con call from Team Lee's doesn't seem to suggest that, so be careful of that bucket. Clutch of earnings today, starting with Trent, of course, but there is Cummins, there is Bajaj Electricals, Emami, there is Escorts, Kubota, Great Eastern Shipping could be interesting as well. ITD Cementation, very interesting to monitor, as also Lupin, M&M and NHPC. So a clutch of very interesting names that will come out with numbers. Watch out for Page and Shyam too. But what are the things to monitor in the session today? Let's quickly go to that. So firstly, the MSCI rejig and what's happened. So India's weight has increased to 19.8% from 19.3%, which is obviously a positive. This will mean inflows, passive flows of approximately $2.5 billion has to happen by November 25th or 26th or thereabouts. So that's about 15 odd days. Now what's happened? Kalyan Jewellers, Voltas, BSE, Oberoi Realty and Alchem Labs are the 5 stocks that have been added to MSCI. So that's part one. There is HDFC Bank weightage, which has been increased to 7.08%. Now, you guys just stick with this for a moment. This is a big thumbs up simply because this means approximately $1.9 billion of inflows to HDFC Bank to be done in the next 15 days. And just the back of the envelope math seems to suggest, I'm not 100% sure, but mota moti I'm sure, that it means that the average volume of the last 7 days to be done in addition to the normal volumes in the next 15 days alone. I would suspect this should spur the stock of HDFC Bank, if not today then tomorrow, but I would suspect today itself. So watch out for HDFC Bank in the session today and hence the Bank Nifty too. Work hard. A QIP of about 1,000 crores launched at an indicative price of about 1105 per share. That's about a 12% discount to the current market price, but I suspect that if the QIP is successful, and if good names come in, then the stock could actually see a bit of a rev up from the lows of the day. So be mindful of that. Now, I'll start off with some of the smaller good results. Let's start with that for a change today. So Avalon Tech is the first one on my radar. Revenues up 37% at 275 crores. EBITDA margin up 470 basis points at 11%. You know, employee expenses, other expenses, etc. came off. And the adjusted PAT is up 2.4 times at 17.5 crores. You can't find a fault with this one, but for the fact that it has done this after a really long time. Let's wait and watch if the street gives a thumbs up to Avalon. I suspect that the numbers would mean that the stock does well. Chambal Fertilizers, revenues are down, by the way, at 4,346 crores. The estimates were 5,000 crores, so the revenues are down, but they've done very well operationally. EBITDA margins at 18.17% versus estimates of 14.1. Look at the beat there, as a result of which the profit after tax number, 40.68% uptick at 536 crores. The estimates were 441 crores. I think the street will be pleased with the EBITDA performance and the bottom line performance, so might get rewarded. Pre-call, no one-offs really, 15% uptick in revenue, EBITDA margin marginally higher, net profit as a result up 36%, 45 crores versus 36 crores. Decent numbers, very likely could react positively, so watch out for this one. Apollo Hospitals, the larger one which did well, revenues up 15%, 5589 crores, the estimates were 5532, so bang on in line with estimates, but EBITDA margins expanded a little bit more than what the street was working with. 14.56, the estimates were 14.1, and the corresponding number was 12.93, by the way, as a result of which the net profit is up 59% at 396, the estimates were 367 crores, 59% uptick in bottom line. Very strong performance, very likely could react positively. Watch out for Tata Steel and Jindal Steel. So revenues down for both. Tata Steel revenues down, but EBITDA margin does better, and as a result of which the bottom line numbers look okay. So watch out for Tata Steel and watch out for Jindal Steel as well. I think they did reasonably well for themselves, Jindal Steel as well. So keep in mind this one too. In fact, brokerages anticipate that their EBITDA per ton will actually expand by 1,500 to 200 rupees in Q3. So do watch out for JSPL in the session today. Then higher steel prices and volumes and lower raw material cost effectively helping JSPL. So do watch out for this one. Hindalco is a bit of a pickle because Novelis in its results has withdrawn the EBITDA per ton guidance, which is a negative. Maybe this stock reacts negatively to that piece of news. Okay, let's move on. Some bad numbers. Kansai Nerolac revenues was flattish, but the operational metrics didn't look good. So EBITDA margin at 11.48 versus 13.9, and as a result of which the net profit down 27% at 130 crores versus estimates of 189 crores. Not a good set of numbers, may react negatively. JK Lakshmi, howler of a number, revenues down 21% versus at 1234, lower than estimate. EBITDA margin 7%, estimates of 11.7%, as a result of which I'm sure the bottom line much lower than estimated, 19 crores net loss versus a profit of 96 crores. So not a good set of numbers, didn't do well. Kirloskar too didn't have a great set of numbers. Ferrous revenues were up 6.7%, yes, 1666 crores, but EBITDA margin came down 463 basis points. It's 11.64 versus 16.28. Net profit down at 78 crores versus 82 crores. So margin performance weak, and therefore this stock might get punished, as well with Delta Corp, I think. That's the next one if I'm not wrong. Revenues down 28%, margins collapsed. Some 1900 basis points downtick in margins. 18.61 versus 38.31. What a bad set of numbers. And as a result of which the bottom line numbers also look very shabby, 27 crores versus 69 crores. I suspect that the stock, even though it's a beaten down stock, may react a bit more negatively. What else? Reliance Power, unit Rosa Power has prepaid 485 crores of debt to Varde Partners, becomes zero debt. Surprise, surprise, and this one could well be a stock that you should monitor in the session. It anyways is a high volume stock, so watch out for this one. Polycab, which bounced back from the lows yesterday, has got yet another order. Lowest bidder for a 50 crore project from BSNL. Interestingly, Polycab and BSNL, but well, that's happened, and therefore this one too could react positively. Do watch out. And Dhanuka numbers came out yesterday, but I think what they've said in the con call is interesting. And they've said they've revised the EBITDA margin guidance upwards by 200 basis points, and they've said that the company is factoring in greater traction for newer products, and thereby very likely, brokerages say likely strong revenue growth in H2 driven by a favorable Rabi crop. So do watch out for this one as well in the session today. Very quickly before I wrap up, like I said, sequential margin drop for Tata Steel, but I think brokerages like Morgan Stanley, for example, is saying an OPEX-led strong beat. So do watch out for that one in the session today. E-Clerks, yesterday I spoke about it. Brokerages are constructive. Nomura has raised the target price to 3,700 from 3,600. So do watch out for that one as well. GAIL is finding favor by most brokerages, so do keep an eye out for that too. Thanks for tuning in to the Trade Setup today.